Hey people, is it Wednesday? It's the 1st of November. And I have to print out a new calendar page. Cheers. Folks, I hope you don't mind, but I kind of need to talk about my neighbor a little bit. I do. I need to talk about it. And I'm not here to entertain you folks. I'm here doing this because I want to talk and share and okay. I don't expect people to fully understand where I'm coming from or who I am. I'm real. None of us understand anyone fully, much less ourselves. So bear with me, or don't. So you folks who watch me pretty regularly, you know I talk about my life. That's really what this is about. Is just me just getting on here and talking. So I've talked about my neighbor. His name is Gary. His name was Gary Barnes. I don't know how long Gary and his mom lived across the street from me. I've lived in this house here over 30 years. I lose track. I'd have to look up the paperwork when I bought it and all that stuff. I don't keep track of that stuff. It helps to keep my stress level down, okay? To not be always fretting about money and financial shit, that is really designed to make us crazy because everyone's living, damn near everyone is living month to month. Admit it, people, to yourselves. You folks that are doing better than that, you're in the minority, I bet. I bet. So, anyway, I've spoken about my neighbors through the years. They're the people directly across the street from me who are like hillbillies, sloppy, drunks, and and then right next to them is Gary and his mom. I've shared that house has been many different people over the years I've lived here, many different folks. Don't know how long Gary and his mom have been living there, but over time, Gary and I have become friendly. I'm always friendly to everyone on the block, wave, say hello, and all that sort of shit. But it got to the point where I forget how many years ago it was that I walked across the street and introduced myself, and would occasionally go over there and sit with Gary. And he and his best friend would sit out pretty regularly in the front, on the stoop or whatever you would call it. They don't have a porch to drink because Gary's mom didn't like him drinking in the house. So during the summertime and when it's warm, Gary's almost always out in the front yard. So I got to the point where I would just, when I feel like it, or for whatever reason, I would go over and sit with him, with him and his friend. I wouldn't drink with him, and I'd smoke weed with him, because they'd be able to smoking and drinking and carrying on. Ex-gang member, big, huge mountain of a man. Really liked Gary. I need to do this for my own mental health, so tune out if you don't want to hear my story, okay? What I need to kind of review out loud for my own, to put this to bed in a way, is that I really liked Gary and his mom. She's only 5 years older than me, okay, but really overweight. But she would use her walker to get up and come outside and sit out in the front yard. Well, that stopped earlier this year. And then there was I've told this story, but I want to tell it again to put it into perspective what's happening with me, okay? About a month ago, Gary calls me, with a slight panic in his voice, can you come over right now? What's going on, Gary? I need you. Can you come over? So I go over, and his mom has fallen. She's overweight, heavy, overweight. She's fallen and cannot get up. Like that old commercial, you old people like me remember that? Help, I fell and I can't get up. It wasn't funny at all. We could not lift her up. She's just too fat, okay? So my experience in hospitals came into play. And I said, if you can't get up off the floor, we need to call an ambulance, okay? And, she's been real stubborn about it. And so I said, you have to help us. And we were finally able to get her up on the couch off the floor. It was excruciating. So so to put it into perspective, um, after that happened, less than a week later, I see the fire department in an ambulance over there getting mom. I guess it was pretty obvious that she can't take care of herself. She can't, and Gary can't do it. So then last week, Gary texts me and says, "Are you busy? What's up?" And I didn't get a response, so I call, and he can barely breathe. And I get in the car, and I go over there, and he's huge. I could barely get him in the car, partially because he was all puffed up from his heart. He was full of fluid. Barely made it to the car. So that's even deeper bonding moment. It's like I'm taking him to the ER, and it's and I said, don't even try to talk to me. Just we'll get you there. It was like, damn. And he's still trying to, because he's a big man. He's a man. You know how men can be. You know. He's trying to tell me he's got a congested heart and he's got fluid or something's going on. And my comment to him was, just be quiet and don't die. So I said to him as I'm taking him to the ER, take him there, drop him off, because it's obvious he's going to stay. Stayed in touch with him. He was in the hospital for 3 days, okay? While I was in the hospital, I noticed some activity over at his house, so I called. I said, what's going on? Are you out? He says, oh, no, that's they're getting ready to bring my mom home. That's my family getting ready, for her to come home. So 2 days ago, when, 3 days ago now, I get a text from Gary. Says, hey, come on by. I got something for you. Because he was trying to tell me in the car as I took him to the ER, I'll give you some money for gas money. Ain't nobody thinking about no motherfucking gas money? Don't die. That's what I was saying. Ain't nobody thinking about, damn gas money. Don't die. Don't die. So, a couple days ago, after he's out of the hospital, I go across the street, and as far as I could see, he was okay. He's outside leaning on his big truck, and he gave me some bud, thanking me. He said, I really appreciate you, because I didn't want nothing, I didn't want his money. He said, so he gave me some weed, for running him out to the ER. It was good too. That's the last conversation I had with Gary. The next day he was dead. That is still blowing my mind a little bit. I know about the impermanence of life. I've dealt with a lot of death. Still grieving the loss of my younger brother 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Was it after COVID? In my job, I came upon people who had just died or were dying and had to deal with that. So it's not that this is something shocking and I can't handle it. It's that this is a process where this is helpful to me to talk about it and process it and put it to bed. Um, so, like I said, 2 days ago when I saw the fire truck again, I assumed it was Mom, again. But then the police came, and then there was all these cars, all these people. So then I assumed, well, somebody's died, but I assumed it was Mom. So when yesterday, I since I hadn't heard from Gary and I had texted him about all this, says, well, I see the police. Is everything all right? I didn't get an answer that day. So yesterday I texted again saying I didn't mean to be nosy, was just concerned. Get a call back on his phone, and it's his daughter. And she informs me, and it's stunning. I am well aware of the impermanence of life. I'm not afraid of dying. It's just heavy. Okay, thank you for letting me talk about that. So let's get to music. I'll show some music, nothing new, but let me talk about. So the piece that I shared yesterday that I titled "Loss." When I started working on that days ago, the thing that started it was the beat. Boom, 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 boom. I forget exactly what it was. Someone said sounds 80s. Well, I wasn't thinking 80s. Someone else said Billy Ocean. What? I don't even know what Billy Ocean sounds like, except for what was on the radio. I ain't got no damn Billy. But again, people hear what they hear based on their frame of reference. I keep saying it. I fully understand that we all don't see and live in the world the same way. We just assume everybody's on the same page in some kind of way, and we're not. Okay, you hear what you hear. When I started that piece, it was the beat that I'd started with. When I started to play the keys, looking for chords that sound good, it turned blue. The way it just repeats. But those chords to me suggest something inner, kind of blue, kind of not downer, but yeah, sad in a way. Okay, so it's just kind of ironic how what's going on across the street is not directly in my mind, and yet it's in the music somehow. This tragedy, a sense of tragedy. Okay, and for you folks who want to tease me about the length, I ain't thinking about y'all. Okay, and it's not funny to me. Okay, the piece ended up being as long as it is because each layer that I added, I needed. It was the adding of the layers, and then the culmination of it repeating a couple times. Is that that's enough? Okay, I'm not thinking about y'all. Okay, it's not funny to me. Okay, so I started another piece. The day that Gary died, not knowing it yet. Okay, I'm gonna upload it today with a visual. And I'm calling it Gray Gaze because it does encapsulate um, um, an inward feeling of reflection. Okay, um, it's about the tragedy of the times, really, as well as much it is about my neighbor. Are you still with me, people? Hey, Kareem, talk. Thank you, Kareem. Kareem called me yesterday after he saw my second video where I talked about Gary's death. That really helped and helps a lot. And it's one of the ways that I miss my brother. He's was the only direct family I had in town, except for cousins who I don't communicate with generally. Um, so that really helped me yesterday. Thank you, Kareem. Okay, so um, while completing this next piece of music I'm going to share, I'm going to upload it later today. I did play some music, and I did a random poll for myself. and I played this all the way through. Ruphus, I think they're from Norway, yes. Flying Colors, a jazz rock band. One of their albums is produced by Terry Ripdahl. I don't think this is it. I think it's another one. Musically, I like this band quite a bit. I cannot stand the vocals. She's got this, what I think is I always thought it was a weird voice, kind of raspy, irritating to me. The lead singer of Zephyr, the American band Zephyr, Candy Gibbons, her voice is like this. Very irritating to me. I think some people thought of it as really raw, raunchy, and sexy. It sounds really, shitty to me. So I love the music, and there's several instrumentals on here, which saves the album. I must say, there's something about the compositions. I can hear I can hear the geography of where they live in the music. I love it. It's like I hear mountains and clear blue skies and snow and shit. When I listen to this band and other bands, like certain bands, is it? Yeah, I have a couple other their albums. I do like the European thing. It takes me away. I love it. Yeah, this one's produced by Terry Ripdahl, the jazz guitarist. Let Your Light Shine. And these two that I'm showing are on Brain, that great German label that I love, Brain. I also have a reissue of, I think this is their first album, and they start off completely different than where they ended. This is like Yes. Ranchart is the name of it, Ruphus. Their first album made in 1974. And it looks like, well, you can see, it's a prog thing. And they really completely changed since this album to the ones that I just showed. Good musicians. Along those lines, I played this, Message. They have an album with a skull on the front, which I had been after for years. And it's really good psych heavy rock. Collector's item. So I bought this at Amoeba, and it was up on the wall, so they wanted a little bit for it, but based on the other album that I knew by them, I bought this. This is nothing like that. It's much more commercial, but yesterday I listened to it all the way through so that I could hear what's going on here. It is the same band that made that classic album of Books and Dreams, I think is the name of the other one. I'm not going to grab it. Again, the letdown here are the vocals. A lot of records, it's like people, I wish you'd just shut the fuck up and let me hear the music. That's where I'm at, Have been for the longest. I do like vocals, but mostly it'd be like, ooh, this music's good. Why don't they just let the music play? That was a big issue in the band Genesis between the band members and Peter Gabriel. They'd get pissed. Why is he writing words on this part? He's fucking up my music. I understand that sentiment totally. Great album cover. Good music. Most of the words and the lyrics are really throwaway. But I'm glad I have that. Something else I played yesterday. All of side one, because I love Orange Lady. Weather Report's first album. This is my recently purchased reissue of the album. I still have an original copy of this. But when I saw this down at Grapefruit in the used section, I'm a sucker for colored vinyl for fun. And I just say it for fun. A couple of the folks at Homer's, Mark and another employee, I like them all. They have this attitude like black vinyl's the best. I don't want anything if it's not on black vinyl. And I don't give a shit about that attitude, And I just tell them, I've been around too long to give a shit about what anybody else thinks about what I do. I like colored vinyl. I'm having fun with it. Purist. Attitudes, so the fuck what? That's what you think. That's not what I think. Don't care. So a little bit of, if you hear a little bit of irritation, that's what I'm explaining, that it's part of my seasonal depression, okay? I get irritable. I'm still very loving. I'm still Dereck. But yeah, the operating word is I'm a Cancer and I can get cranky. So don't fuck with me. And notice I'm laughing. That don't mean nobody no harm. Okay? That's the crux of what I want to share today. Bandcamp Friday is coming up. I got a sale yesterday. Thank you. The sales. I was thinking, well, I could make a digital release of these new songs for Friday, but I don't want to do that just yet. I like what's happening, and if anything, I would want to do another physical release eventually. But I don't have money, so I just can't print up as. Oh, I'll make a new CD. I can't afford to just do that. So I will talk up tomorrow reminders of Bandcamp Friday and what I have for sale, and hope you folks buy some. Hope you folks buy some stuff. Richard, I received the latest Cleastwar. I haven't played it yet. If you I think you'll understand because what I explained in my head, where my head is at. I'm processing the death of my neighbor. I am. It's I don't think it's hard to explain. Everyone deals with death, and it's not easy. Okay, and we were becoming close. The other thing that I had said to him, either in the car or after we were talking while he was in the hospital, I said to him, well, my brother's gone, just like you called me. I'm thinking if something happens to me, I'll be calling you. He's gone. I can't even call him. I don't feel lonely. And I don't feel alone in a tragic way, but I recognize in a lot of ways I'm alone here. I have a lot of people who care about me, know who I am, and say they like me. But immediate family, there's none here. My cousins who are all big Bible beaters, and that part of black culture just really, really turns me off, and I want no part of it. So I don't associate with my family here too much, except for on special occasions. So I'm alone, and so, my neighbor is my cousin Ray, so that's the next closest. But he, again, older than me. I tried to call Ray to tell him about this. He won't even answer his fucking phone. Anyway, I needed to talk about this, folks. I won't upload it right away. I'll wait till later. If people don't watch my music. Oh, that's the other thing I want to share. Last night, as I was finishing up this little video for the next piece of music I'm going to share, I made another playlist on my channel. You have playlists on your channel. I have a playlist for the interviews I've done. Now I have a playlist for the music videos and live performances on my channel. And there's about 50 or 60. Actually, I was surprised. But I've made thousands of videos over the years. But as I was going through trying to find stuff, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of live performance with RAF, homemade music videos, and other stuff. It's in a playlist now, so you can go and access that. And so yeah, folks. Okay, that's what's happening with Dereck today. Talk to you later.